Hello, welcome into my channel. My name is Jer. We are going to be talking about Canada's Drag Race Season 4, Episode 2. I want to preface this by saying that I am behind, and I'm going to try to catch up pretty quick. So this is the QV She episode. I really love that they picked up this challenge. I think they did a QV She or something similar to it back in season 3, and they had to sell a product, but it was just a mini challenge. And I think Yara won for her Pop It On. But this time we had some really fun things for them to sell. So let's get into the beginning. We start with all the contestants walking in, and they're all kind of reset. I think they all thought someone was gonna go home, so now it's really hitting that someone's gonna leave. That was probably their only chance to not go home, no matter how bad they did. And some of those girls that really did bad week 1 are shaking in their boots right now because I think they realize that they've got so much more to live up to prove why they deserve to stay one more week. And especially being at the bottom, they have to go up, because if they stay neutral or go any lower, it's out. They were already in the bottom last week. So they're told their challenge, and then it's gonna be improv as well as live, which would make me poop my pants. I am not good at continuous one-take things. There's a reason I make YouTube videos. I don't do well with continuous takes, no cuts, no breaks. I have to have lines, I have to have a script. I'm not really great at improv. So this challenge would freak me out. I would need to neurotically practice before we went out, and a lot of them did not. It was a mess. This was a messy challenge. And if they ever do this again, I hope that they give them a script. This is a lot. So let's start out with each group and let's break down each part of it. They were allowed to self-assign. They all got to pick who they wanted to work with, and understandably, some of them gravitated towards others that they thought were gonna do well, and some got fled from, like poor Melinda, who nobody wanted to work with. But honestly, I think that worked out in her favor because it meant that she ended up having a fire underneath her to do even better because nobody wanted to work with her. I'm just gonna go in order of the way that I wrote down in my notes. We have team 1, which were the shade blockers. This was a glasses set that had earmuffs too. So the idea is that you don't see the shade and you don't hear the shade, but your mouth is not covered, so you could still send the shade. And I thought that that would have been a really smart way to feed it out. Are you tired of getting shade thrown your direction? You don't have to see it anymore, mama, and you don't even have to hear it anymore. That doesn't mean you can't cast the shade. There were so many great opportunities to do a hear, see, speak, no evil type of a situation with each one of them, where maybe they start out doing that, and then another queen is doing this, and then the other one who's hosting is talking like this. So it really emphasizes that the shade blockers don't allow you to receive the shade. But you can still give it. That would have been a really interesting POV. This was Denim, Kiki, and Cece. And of course, this is not the improv group, which means that I am very worried for what Denim and Kiki are gonna do for Snatch Game, because it's very clear that they are not comedians. I feel like it's gonna be a rough Snatch Game. They completely forgot the product. The actual commercial was odd. I didn't get any QVC vibes at all. I got 3 people who were terrified to do this challenge and didn't really want to be there. It lacked a POV, and I think the judges really hit the nail on the hammer when they said that everybody was lucky that there are only 3 bottoms, because I think this could have been a situation where there were 6 bottoms. And then we have the Fierce Flats, and this team was helmed by Melinda and Kitten. And honestly, I was really having high hopes for this, because if anybody could sell me a flat, it's gonna be Kitten. Because she's older, she knows her way around, she's probably seen many a queen come through with flats, and I thought that they did such a bang-up job. Kitten was so funny and well-rehearsed and really knew what she was selling and how to sell it, and Melinda was really playing the character that is just a little too loony about all of it. The two of them were giving big 90s vibes. It was almost that rainbow squiggle lady who was just like, oh gosh, oh my God, meets this one woman who does these pan tutorials in like 2004 or something. I don't remember what her name was, but she had this special pan that all you had to do was put water underneath it and it could cook anything. She had like a whole special where she did like an omelet and a steak and desserts. It was very that tea. And I thought they did such a good job at selling this product in a really fun way. It was delightful, it was campy, it was funny. I could have watched that QVC for an hour. And I would have loved to have seen what they would have done, especially the confessional part where Kitten turns into someone else by flipping her wig around. It was just very well organized, and you could tell that these two are gonna do good if they make it to Snatch Game, and I hope, for the love of God, that Kitten makes it there, because we need that. We are owed that. After how bad this challenge was, we deserve that. Next was the tip tits, and I thought this was such a funny concept because I have seen many a drag queen take a dollar bill and just shove it right in the broad titty, and rather than it getting all soaking wet and stuck to your skin, you put it in the little pocket of your bra, and then you've got damp free dollars at the end of your night. Such a strong, clear point of view on how you can sell that and how you can pitch that to an audience, and again, I really feel like a lot of it was missed. This team was held by Venus, Aurora, and the Girlfriend Experience, and to be honest, Venus and Aurora were doing great. Venus in particular was so stunning this whole challenge, did a great job at really evoking this sort of 90s television woman, and I really enjoyed what they did in that challenge. I thought Aurora was doing her best to keep up. And then the Girlfriend Experience was Tatiana giggling at her own joke during the Snatch Game and not holding it together. And it was really uncomfortable to watch. For me, it sort of felt like when Alyssa Edwards thought she was the funniest person in the room while she was trying to compose her jokes about Santino, but there weren't any jokes. It was very bad. It was uncomfortable and it felt bad. I felt bad for her because I could tell that at a certain point she just didn't want to be there anymore and she just wanted it to be over and was waiting for the time to be done. And that really weighed down on Aurora and Venus, who were trying so hard to sell it and just trying to move things forward, and it never went anywhere. It sort of just flatlined. But if Aurora and Venus had someone else on their team who knew their lines and could improv and play and didn't just shut down, I think they could have been the winning team. I think they could have rivaled what Kitten and Melinda were doing. Because, let's be honest, those runways that the two of them pulled out were probably some of the strongest ones that night. Specifically Venus. So then we have the final group, which was the Party Poncho. This team was helmed by Amy, Luna, and Nira. And again, this is such a brilliant concept. How many times have you been to a drag show and there's that one old queen that comes out in the biggest, clunkiest outfit and then pulls it off and oh my God, there's a tearaway. There's a swimsuit or there's an uglier bodysuit. We saw Kennedy Davenport and Eureka do that 1,000 times. We saw Roxy Andrews do that a bunch of times, where one big clunky outfit became a slim, sexy outfit. And oh my God, nobody's ever seen that coming. Nobody's done that before. That was the direction they should have done with the selling of it. But they kind of forgot. They kind of forgot that it was there. And it was something that made you sweat. It was something that was bulky. I don't know what the POV was. It was so flat. It was so cringy and just extraneously uncomfortable to watch. And the problem is that it fell apart right away. It's not like it fell apart midway through, like they got off on a good foot and then fell apart, like the way that the Girlfriend Experience fell apart for that group. This group started bad and then it continued to plummet into bad. And after the challenge, then some real tea starts to happen. I really pegged Luna as being a top 3 or top 4 aesthetically because I thought she was kind of giving this super glamorous businesswoman type executive thing that we haven't seen in a long time. But I really feel like she lacks all the charisma and nerve to be that drag superstar that I think we require. And that bums me out because I really pinned her as someone who was going to be high. So now I'm totally flopping both her and Venus. And I think Venus is a top 4. And I think Luna is an early out. I wouldn't be surprised if Luna's out next week or the week after that. If Luna makes it to Snatch Game, I'd be shocked. I really did identify, though, with her saying that she did all her crying as a child. I've been there. That I resonated with. And I saw a real person there. I saw someone that wasn't just a picture. I saw a real human there. And I thought that felt like something a lot of queer people understand, is that we've cried so much when we were kids, just wanting to be out of whatever situation we were in. And now as adults, you just don't cry anymore because you've done it. You don't need to cry anymore. You had all your tears. Now it's just nose to the grind and make it work. If she can figure out how to break through that, maybe she'll still go far, but I just don't know if she's got the charisma to get there. I'm worried about that. So now we get to the runway, and once again, Brooklyn Heights is just serving. It's so unfair that Brooke looks the way that she does, in and out of drag, and gets to just exist like that all the time? That's not okay. We are so lucky that we get to exist in this timeline that Brooklyn Heights exists in. Every one of you too, eating potato chips. I see you with your little Cheeto dust fingers. I see you. You're lucky that you get to live in this timeline with her. So the runway theme is gemstones, and I love this. I think Canada is always stunting on the US runway prompts, and I really feel like whatever team they've got up there that's designing these challenges, they're paying attention, they are thinking, they're doing something great. And I also loved that nobody had a repeat, which makes me wonder if maybe they had to submit it ahead of time and then got a list of what they could do. Because I was shocked that there were no duplicates, especially like diamonds. I would have thought that there would have been at least 3 diamonds. So let's go down the line. We've got CC Superstar with Amethyst. I think the overall outfit was fine, but this tinselly wig was not it. Just overall, I don't think it was a really cohesive piece. Then we have Kiki Code doing Emerald, and this was a really fun showgirl look. I was obsessed. I thought there was something almost like pineapple-y about it. I really liked it. The green and the yellow were such nice details together. And then get into the shape of this hair. It's very Whoville. Something about it is so spectacular. Like, I could almost see Gaga wearing this. And she just looks so beautiful. I love that she took the note of smiling more on the runway because she looked stunning. Then we have Denim, which I personally thought that this looked like a pearl look. I did not get Moonstone right away. I liked the story that Denim told, but I just wasn't getting that. It was giving me pearls. It was giving me ocean. It was giving me aquatic. And I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just didn't quite get the reference until it was explained. Then we have Kitten Caboodle, and my God, I love this look so much. It is so classic drag queen, even to that super cheap, that mosaic fabric that every drag queen in the world has, down to everything being rhinestoned and sparkly, and the makeup was incredible. The one thing that I love about Kitten, again, and I've said this before, is that Kitten is bringing old school drag to now. A lot of queens are like, I do old school. It's not old school. It's new school. It's now school. With like an occasional gown. It's not old school. It's new school. And that's what Kitten is doing. Kitten is bringing it from the nightclub and the old school to the right now in the runway. And I think it's so cool that that's being represented in a way that we really haven't seen before. And then we have Melinda Verga doing what she kind of described and alluded to as being a slutty kind of Elsa look. And her gemstone was cubic zirconia, which is a choice. It was really skatery. It's very simple. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it because I think I do. I like the makeup and I like the details that are happening here with the crown. I like the patterns that she's made along the side with this corset. I think it's very pretty and intricate. I'm not like, wow. And then we have one of my absolute favorite looks of the entire night. And this was from Venus. This look that was representing diamonds. And this was everything. Miss Venus did not come to play with any of y'all on this main stage. This is art. What is so special about this is you could see this at the Met Gala. If the theme for the Met was gems, that's it. you would see so many celebrities dying to wear that. And I thought the simplicity of this hood that transformed into a collar was so smart. And one of my favorite details was that she had paint underneath. I was sure it was going to be a Valentina situation, and it was going to be like, okay, can you take it off? And there'd be no makeup. It would just be regular old face. And I love that the attention to detail was there to put makeup on underneath and even apply a couple gemstones just to make sure that the judges knew Venus is there to not mess around. This is not a person that's messing around. This person is someone who's playing the game, and they're doing it flawlessly. And then we have the girlfriend experience giving us pearls. Now, the pearl face cage is really nice. I really like the wet hair. I like how it does look like she legitimately came right out of the ocean. She's a merfolk person who just came right out of the water. I even like that the gown is sort of mermaid-esque. And I like this collar. I really like the collar coat, sleeve, shoulder thing situation that's happening. There's details here that I think are fine, but then there's a lot of other elements that just seem not thought of. That it was all just one big afterthought. I want to see pearls dripping all over this. Or if you're gonna give us a really simple silhouette, go really exaggerated with the shapes. It just wasn't enough. And even the attitude and the movement very much felt like, I don't want to be here. I think she knew she didn't do well in the challenge. I think she knew she was up for elimination. And I think she just was defeated and in her head. We're so early in the competition. It's way too early to give up, especially after not having done really that bad last week. It was one slip up. And so that worries me that if she stays another week, that the slip up is gonna get her even more in her head. So then we get to Aurora doing Jade. Now, I love a bodysuit. I love a colorful bodysuit. I love this green. I love that she tried really hard to match it with the face paint. The makeup is giving a little Hulk, and the bodysuit is giving the green pea giant. I love the hair. I think the hair is so intricate and it feels really cultural and special. I love that this whole idea feels really special to her. I do think that maybe the robe could have been ditched. It's such a simplistic white with this gold. If maybe the gold was on the outside and the white was lining it, maybe I could get into it. Or maybe if it was a richer color, maybe just a really dark blue with gold lining, that could have been nice. With the green, it could have given a lot of these super pretty earth tones that I would have loved to have seen. Something about the white was just not quite enough. But I loved the gold flecks on the makeup. I think she looks stunning. And again, this hair is so architectural. Definitely could have been tweaked just a smidge to be even stronger. And then we have Luna Dubois doing Topaz. And I don't quite understand what this has anything to do with the gem, but it's so whimsical and fun. I kind of like it. I like doing a kitty girl look. What I don't enjoy about it is that it's sort of schlumpy right in the middle. It doesn't feel super fitted, and it looks like the corset maybe was added post-fitting. That maybe when she originally got fit for this outfit, maybe she had her padding and everything in, but wasn't fit with the corset. So it was built bigger to accommodate what her body was. And then putting on the corset and slimming down, then it leaves this extra room in the front. And I've definitely made garments like that in the past where I forgot to put on a corset while I was sewing and something was just off about the proportions. There's not really anything you can do about that, especially with a cat suit like this. It's really hard to fix that. And I like the idea of whimsy, and I want people to go outside of the box when it comes to challenges like this. But the gem needed to be featured more and not just be an afterthought. I feel like the collar just kind of blends in with the rest of the outfit, and it's not featured enough. If the gem had been bigger and maybe the catsuit had been a different color so that it's really emphasizing this is a real rich cat. They come from a bougie life and they got this big ass topaz collar that is so ridiculous that no cat should have. I think maybe I could have gotten into that because the makeup was incredible. It needed a little more emphasis on the gem. And then we have Nira doing Ruby, and to be honest, I love this. Nira's first two looks coming in the workroom and that performance look were not good, but everything else Nira's done has been incredible. She's not just Nira enough. She is more than enough. I love these boots. I love this hair. I love the attitude is so fun. This jacket is like something I've never seen, and I want to wear that jacket all the time. It almost is giving like Liza, but a little more fabulous. Maybe like a goth fabulous Liza. I loved it. The attitude was also so good serving it down the runway. She just looked like she was having fun. And I think she knew that she didn't do well in the challenge, so she had to overcompensate on the runway, and she did that. And then we got Amy Yonsei Chanel doing Sapphire. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like this look at all. This is the first time that Amy's worn something that I was like, oh, okay. There's this sort of jiffy pop skirt that's happening at the bottom that I'm not loving. Or something about the textile is a little odd to me. On top of the fact that this blue looks kind of cheap, and then this weird silhouette where it puffs out and then scoops down, and then in the back it puffs out again. It gives this really awkward shape. And then all these style lines in the front are so expected, because you look at this center teardrop and all the gemstones literally radiate outwards in a way that wasn't maybe thought about in the moment that it was creating this funky looking teardrop, and everything sort of just redraws your eyes back to this funky shape. And I think that shape could have worked maybe with a different textile. But then on top of it, you got this crown that's sort of odd looking. It's craft store looking. Even these gems look a little crafty, and maybe they're very expensive gems, but they don't look it with the white border around them. I don't know what that white border is, if that came with the gem, if that was an extra thing that was added, but it just, something looks craft store about it. And I'm sure that it's not. I'm sure this is a very expensive outfit, something that was vastly overpaid for. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. I didn't care for it, but I love her. I think she's incredible. And also the shoes were just really upsetting. So now we get to the deliberation portion. Kitten, Melinda, and Venus are all in the top, which makes sense in my fantasy. Kitten in my head was the winner of the whole thing, and I feel like Venus was a really strong, close second. Melinda did a great job improving, but didn't really bring it to the runway, but did so good in the challenge that you can't ignore how good she did. She's a huge reason why Kitten was able to be so successful, because Kitten could sort of play the lunatic salesperson, while Melinda played this lunatic purchaser of said thing. It worked. It was incredible overall. Their vibe was immaculate. And the bottoms were Cece Superstar, The Girlfriend Experience, and Luna Dubois, which I completely agreed with. But I also agreed with Brooke that they're lucky that there are only 3 bottom spots, because I think there should have been more. I think they easily could have been like, Kitten, you stay, Luna, Girlfriend, Cece, Denim, Kiki, stay here. We're gonna talk to all of you. Cause it was a bad one. This was a bad one. Raja overall was a really fantastic judge. I enjoyed everything that the judges had to say critique-wise, and I think I've said it before, but what I really like is that these judges really seem like they care about the contestants. They're there to help nurture them through the competition, not just give them, oh, I like it, but your skirt was weird. They actually give them something that's helpful and give them advice going forward, and I liked that element. But then the twist comes, the big twist. The big twist of the season is that the Maxi Challenge winner has the power to choose one of the bottom 3 to stay. This is nuts. I got tingles down my arms talking about it again. This was such a brilliant way to restructure the mainline season. And if this does not get applied to every season across the board, I'm gonna lose my mind. This needs to go to every single season, and I don't care if Rue wants to make sure that she has her ideal top 3. I don't care if production in the US wants their ideal top 3 at the end of the thing. I want this. This makes it a social game, because you can be like, oh my god, sister, I just love you so much. It's so unfair that you're in the bottom, because I really think that you should have gone to the next episode, and I don't think you should go home tonight. Even though in the back of your mind, you think, this bitch is gonna land in the bottom again next week. and they're gonna flop. So it'll save me an opportunity. Because if they've already been in the bottom again, and if I end up with them, I'll send their butt home. And maybe even I'll end up getting saved. And their butt will be packed. But if you keep someone who's strong in the bottom, you tarnish their track record a little bit, and you also send home one of the weaker competitors. But then, on top of all of that, you seem like you are doing something nice. And unless you play it messy and tell the camera what you're thinking, you could really come out looking spotless through this whole competition while you're really being shady boots all the way to the end. And I love this. This is brilliant. This is so good. This is probably one of the best twists of any season across the board, better than All Stars. This was a gagger. But what I really loved was Cece specifically saying that she didn't want to be saved because she'd already been in the bottom, and it wasn't fair that she took someone else's opportunity to be safe. I thought that was really admirable, and I loved that she had so much enthusiasm and confidence in her ability to lip sync that she thought, it's fine, I'll be okay. If I lip sync, I'll do what it needs to happen. Because spoiler alert. Should we just talk about it? Let's talk about it. It was Luna and Cece in the bottom lip syncing, and there's a very specific movement and energy that comes with first-time performers. The girls who are just getting on the stage for the first time, don't know how to walk in heels, don't really know how to move around. There's like a stiffness in which they'll sort of like, I can't even do it anymore because I've done drag for so long. When they're performing, they're like doing a lot of this and like just moving around like awkwardly with the beats, and their arms aren't really going anywhere. They're not like swishing or fluid. They're not moving with purpose, you know, and they're sort of just like doing that Scarlett Johansson white lady dancing thing where she's like doing that. It's that movement, and every time they try to like emote, they just fling all over the place, but they're not flinging with purpose. Luna had a really good grasp of the energy of the song, but didn't do anything. She just kind of stood there. And maybe this is me being really harsh, but I would have sent them both home, to be honest. I thought that neither one of them were really spectacular, but of the two of them, if only one can go home, Cece was the very clear bottom of the entire experience, whatever that experience was. And honestly, that makes me sad because I really like Cece. I thought maybe she would be like a top fiver, and that's probably me being super delulu because I just really liked her promo look, and I've liked elements of what she's done so far, and I thought everything that she's done has been kind of funny and campy, even if it's been messy. And I just love this woman so much, just aesthetically. I was really sad to see that she left so soon, but it was deserved. There was not a moment of this episode that I thought that wasn't right. It felt all very fair and correct. And I really liked her attitude on her way out. And I'm gonna miss Cece a lot. I'm gonna miss her confessionals. I thought she had such good energy each week, and it'll be interesting not having her there anymore. I'm loving so many members of this cast even more every week that goes by, and I'm so excited to see more from them. So with that in mind, wrapping up, let me know what your thoughts are about this episode, about who went home, if you agreed with the tops, and if you would like to see this runway recreated in a US season, because I think this would be perfect. And if you want this, do you want this elimination style? I got a lot of questions. Answer them all, but bullet points in the comments below. And I'll see you very soon for another one. I'm going to try and watch episode 3 and get that caught up ASAP. But thank you for watching, and hopefully see you soon. Goodbye. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to click that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Goodbye.